Rachel Zegler is extraordinarily woke, but she's woke in a way that's quite deranged.
No one on the right side of America can stand the star of this movie.
But you don't seemingly like your own character, so she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
The star, Rachel Zegler, is unbelievably charmless in public.
She was, as woke as they are.
She just sounds bitter and angry.
I don't think they're gonna buy it. I don't think they're gonna watch it. I don't think they're gonna like it.
Every time she speaks, she gets less likable.
This truly is the worst casting, maybe, in the history of the film industry.
Rachel Zegler, she's an asshole.
You have nothing to do with the creation of Snow White. Right. You should shut up.
Spend 1 minute on Snow White and how it totally imploded at the box office this weekend.
Rachel is literally the star of a Disney movie, and she acts like she's some sort of victim, and that's the sort of mentality that is just poisoning people's minds. Like, she acts like her life is so bad.
I truly do believe that. There's something wrong with her. She's disturbed, she's unhappy, and she thinks it's about feminism and the patriarchy and about abortion, but the reality is she's just not stable, like the majority of people in Hollywood. They're just not stable human beings. I would highly advise that you boycott this film, no matter how much your children love Snow White.
And if you disagree with this sentiment, I don't need your business. Thanks.
They spent $170 million to make the thing, and it had the lowest opening, under $50 million, of any of these live-action Disney remakes that they've ever had.
And, you know the saying, go woke, get broke, and Disney's going to lose money on this movie. And I believe it only made less than $1 million in China.
If Disney wants to make more woke films that tank at the box office, they are more than welcome to do that, but maybe think of an original idea.
A few lessons for Disney. Number one, stop cannibalizing all your old IP. Like, it's really bad. It's really bad business. Number two, please stop changing all of the historic plots, which actually have meaning to generations of people, to instead become generic woke story about how woman leads revolutionary uprising and she don't need no man.
What if one bratty actress could tank a Disney classic before the credits even rolled? Disney's live-action Snow White was supposed to be a golden ticket, big budget, iconic story, instant cash. Instead, it's a steaming pile of failure, and Rachel Zegler is the one holding the match. This isn't just about a movie bombing, it's about a rude, entitled star with a woke chip on her shoulder turning a fairy tale into a nightmare. From trashing the original to picking fights online, she made sure this remake crashed hard. Here's how it all fell apart.
And to constantly say things that are like just atrocious because they're looking for attention and they can never have enough of it. They can never have enough of it.
Disney thought they'd snagged a princess until the backlash hit like a brick. She could sing, sure, and she had that newbie shine, but the second the news dropped, fans flipped out. Snow White's supposed to be pale as snow, they yelled online. She'd won a Golden Globe, yeah, but this was Disney. People expect humble, not haughty. Already you could smell trouble brewing.
Fans accusing Disney of inserting unnecessary feminism into classic fairy tales.
She's not going to be safe with a prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
She didn't just grab the role, she spit on the classic. By 2022, Ziegler was doing press for the film, which was already a mess thanks to COVID and a set fire that cost millions. Most stars would play nice, right? Not her. She went full woke warrior on the 1937 Snow White, the cartoon that made Disney a legend.
These big bad feminists now are telling us that's ridiculous. How dare you want to meet a handsome prince and be swept off of your feet and live happily ever after? No, you should want to be the prince. You should want to go out and fight the bad guys with a sword.
It's just a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in.
Snow White is running for president.
I'm launching my campaign.
They have been making this film for a very long time because it's just been so scandalized. And so they had to basically put it on ice after people were firstly outraged by Rachel Zegler speaking ill about the prior film, the film that she was remaking. And it's such a weird thing for their whole pitch as feminists to be is like the best thing you can strive to be as a man. Everything will be great once we just act exactly like men. There's nothing special about being a woman. Let's just be men. It just doesn't feel like we're winning.
So no prince or a different kind of prince?
I'm sure a lot of people will assume it's a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie. Right. Andrew Burnap, great dude. Yeah. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Who the hell are you to say all of Andrew's scenes could get cut? Like, who are you?
Oh my God.
Are you Disney? I've read your book, and I have. It's a phenomenal book. You're losing generation of loyal viewers When you think about Snow White, what is the premise? What is the story?
It's a love story. It's a love story.
It's a dream for a girl to grow up and a man falls in love.
I'm really upset that the biggest theme here is that it's anti-men. She called him a stalker.
Fans were pissed. Who's this chick to trash our childhood? Her whole vibe screamed entitlement, like she was too good for the story she was paid to bring to life. She kept going, bragging about how the new version ditched the romance for some girl boss twist.
That's one interview clip that you read the quote from, but she's gone on to talk about this film numerous times, how she once thought Snow White was creepy, she doesn't like the prince, she thinks she should get paid more because she has to wear that dress, she should get paid for streaming, for every hour she has to wear the dress. I mean, talk about biting the hand that feeds you.
Disney fans didn't want a lecture, they wanted magic. Her rude digs at a 90-year-old classic had number Not My Snow White trending fast. PR folks were probably sweating bullets.
Then they got even crazier and they decided that the dwarves in Snow White weren't woke enough, okay?
These are roles made for actors of my stature. I can't go out for the Harrison Ford or the George Clooney roles because that's not for me.
Right.
And now it's taken away. I don't feel that's right.
Did the dwarfs make it or no?
Well, the CGI dwarfs did. Of course, that goes back to the original controversy where Peter Dinklage, a very talented little person actor, said, why are we doing that? We've hired a Latina actress to be Snow White. That's progressive. But you're going to hire little people to play the dwarfs? That just seems like a step backwards. And then, of course, Disney instantly buckled and said, okay, we're going to add magical creatures.
One big mouth changed everything for the dwarfs. The Game of Thrones guy went off on a podcast. Why is Disney still doing this backward dwarf crap? He raged. It's 2022. Overnight, they ditched the 7 dwarfs for CGI magical creatures. Ziegler, of course, had to chime in, all woke and proud. We're moving past stereotypes, she posted, acting like she'd personally saved the day.
But what is this process now where it's like in order to be inclusive, you have to completely destroy storylines, completely destroy franchises? I don't believe in that. I don't think that consumers believe in that either.
But little person actors? They were fuming. She's out here preaching while we lose jobs, one vented online. Peter's loaded, we're not.
Peter Dinklage, you're rich. We're not. We're trying to be extras, or, we're in Johnny Knoxville's Jackass if we're lucky. And so for them, they're like, you're not gonna cast us to be inclusive and progressive, but these guys at Disney, they're not that bright, they're not that smart, and we see that because they can't come up with any new IP.
Leaked pics of the CGI replacements hit the web. Lame, glowing blobs that looked like dollar store toys. Fans laughed them off, actors called it a slap in the face. Ziegler didn't care. She was too busy posing as some progressive hero. Her entitled I know best attitude only made the mess uglier. Production was already a disaster. Delays, reshoots, money hemorrhaging, and now this. The fairy tale was rotting.
But you are not entitled to call for Trump supporters to be harmed. Like, you are actually not entitled to do that. And so let me just remind you, Rachel Zegler, of what the map looks like, just so you can understand when your Disney movie is coming out, how many people you are wishing harm upon. Like, this is America right now.
Her rude mouth became Disney's worst enemy. Fast forward to 2024 and Snow White was inching toward its March 2025 release. Ziegler could have kept quiet, but nah, she went full diva. After the US election, she blasted Trump fans on Instagram. May you never know peace, she wrote. Burnt coffee, wet socks, screw you all. It was peak entitled brat energy and it hit like gasoline on a fire.
I will love you through these 4 years as best I can. F Donald Trump. Yeah, totally stable thing for her to be posting, wishing harm upon Trump voters, wishing that we have no peace.
Megyn Kelly jumped on it, tearing into her on air.
And they postponed the release of this thing, Ben, for a year because their star, Rachel Zegler, was so unlikable, told all Trump supporters that they could off, excuse me, but she did. That was just in November. They didn't even know she was going to do that one. Said she hated Snow White, mocked the fact that there was a prince and that she falls in love as opposed to leaning into her own power.
This rude little punk needs to go, Kelly fumed. Disney, fire her now. The clip went viral. Millions watched Kelly rip Zegler apart. Boycotts popped off on X with fans swearing off the film over her woke tantrum. She tried a fake tears apology. I got emotional, oops, but nobody bought it.
Cry me a river. She's just exactly everything that we can't stand.
One comment summed it up. Her snotty attitude was tanking the movie before it even started. Disney stayed mum, but word spread they wanted her gone. Too bad filming was done. She was a walking disaster, and it was about to get messier.
Because you just can't close your mouth. You just can't be sane, even when you do open your mouth. I think this girl does not deserve a feature-length film, but rather She deserves to be in a padded cell.
You want to trash that legacy? That company that now Disney has screwed up the last 5 years trying to please a small percentage of minorities in America? Yeah, we're sick of it. So the more you do this, Disney, Iger, Rachel Ziegler, whatever her name is. Yes, this is exactly the backlash you're going to get from parents who have kids who are your customers. You're supposed to win parents over. You're talking to kids, the parents pay for the tickets. You have to be a dummy as a marketer to be saying, if I'm Bob Iger, you know what we're doing? Emergency meeting. We're putting Snow White on hold for 2 years, and guess what? Pay her a couple $1,000,000, go away. We're going to bring another person to play this role because you just screwed this thing up.
Disney bet huge and got crushed. March 21st, 2025 came and Snow White flopped hard. Trailers were a snooze. Crappy CGI, Ziegler's stiff grin, no spark. It opened to $43 million in the US with a $200 million plus budget. That's a catastrophe. Disney hoped for $150 million minimum, counting on families and nostalgia. Nope, theaters were ghost towns, no kids in costumes, just empty seats. Critics trashed it. A woke bore once said, Zegler's Snow White is a dud, another piled on. The CGI dwarfs looked like rejects from a bad app and Godot couldn't save it. Fans who went hated it. Too preachy, no charm, a fairy tale gutted. Merch sat unsold, dwarf toys on clearance, gathering dust. Ziegler's rude antics and woke preaching turned people off.
All these studios have to stop letting their actors loose. I mean, honestly, just shut your actors up.
Disney thought drama would sell. Instead, it cost them millions. So what's next after this flop?
Because guess what? Nobody grew up with that crap, and nobody's all that interested in it. It's very good for people to learn that women need men, and also that men need women. I don't know why this fell out of fashion, and we're not allowed to just say that sort of stuff anymore, but it actually happens to be the truth.
Hollywood's buzzing. Disney's regretting it all. The fallout's brutal. Rumors say Disney execs are freaking out. Layoffs looming. Remake plans trashed. This killed their vibe, an insider spilled. They're rethinking everything. Losses could hit $150 million with marketing factored in. Ziegler's name's mud now. She's got talent, a casting pro admitted, but she's a rude mess. No one's touching her. Her woke rants and entitled attitude made her a liability. Disney's pushing it to streaming, but the stench lingers. Online, she's a joke. Rachel Zegler, fairy tale wrecker.
Disney's Snow White was essentially a box office dud. The regime that decided that wokeness needed to be infused in every movie. If they keep going along this path, they're gonna go bankrupt.
This went from fairy tale to total disaster, and it's not done yet. Disney picks a cocky newbie who hates the original. She runs her mouth, rude, woke, entitled, trashing a classic, starting fights, pissing off fans. Dwarfs get swapped for CGI garbage. She maybe beefs with Godot, and the movie tanks. 87 million against 200 million plus. Ziegler's career's teetering. Disney's out millions and looking dumb. Fans are done. Some mad at her race, some at her attitude, all at the mess. Godot's chilling. Ziegler's the punchline. Can she claw back? Will Disney quit remakes? This ain't no happy ending. It's a rude wake-up call. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video.